Comics Plus, what's going on? My name is Akasan.
What's up, Super Chris? DC, good to see you again.
How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are out there practicing the social distancing, because Japan does not care.
Yeah, they don't. And he's like, even with us sitting here, technically he should be like over there, and I'm on this.
My lens is not wide enough for it, though, unfortunately.
So we'll fake the distance here, but in real life, you should be a good distance from each other.
I would say
stateside.
I would argue social distancing in some form could just be like, don't go to large gatherings, which I don't.
Yeah.
Like when they were talking about the requirements of social distance, like stay at home, don't go out so much unless necessary,
Right.
and
Don't go to bars, live events, and things. Like, how can you go to a live event if it's canceled?
I was like, I was flashing back to Endgame. I'm just like, it's like I was built for this. Like, that's my life right there already. What's Corona?
Yeah,
I'm down already.
The sad thing is, this side, they just still haven't gotten a clue.
Yeah, which is weird because 2 weeks ago we were like, yeah, we finished Corona apparently, we cured Corona over the weekend, but now it's come back.
And every day there's anywhere between 40 and 70 new cases.
Yeah.
So it's like, why don't you just lock it down?
For real, shut Tokyo down so I can continue to work. So I can just
Japan down.
Shut
and get it done.
Get her done. Get her done.
The rest of the world is going through it anyway.
Right, we might as well. Don't worry about the economy. It's fucked everywhere right now.
Trying to be too polite.
Let's just shut it down so I can stay at home and make YouTube videos for you guys. Cool.
Not a bad idea.
Full reactions on Patreon. Somebody got mad about that the other day. You're like, this is such a dick move. I'm like, what? Making an extra service so I can live and survive?
Yeah.
Anyways, let's talk about something really controversial. The Snyder Cut. Honest Trailers made a trailer for the Snyder Cut.
Snyder Cut?
I don't know why, though. Must be part of their April Fool's joke or whatever. Let's see.
Right. Today's April 1st.
Yeah. That's why Terry didn't show up today.
Yeah.
He's
said,
like,
I'll see you tomorrow at 11. Like, cool.
That's why he's not here.
Yeah.
We'll have to finish Kingdom without him. All right, let's go. Give us a Snyder Cut.
This episode is sponsored by Google Play with the help of the Battle Cats.
Damn.
I have no
People
idea
still.
what Battle Cats are.
People still play
From the
it?
studio who's so cheap, they won't even pay off critics like Marvel clearly does. And the director is single-handedly keeping Vero relevant.
Yep.
Comes the most incredible alternate version of a film since Colin Trevorrow's Star Wars, Jodorowsky's Dune, and the butthole cut of Cats combined.
Yep.
Justice League, the Snyder Cut.
That was awkward.
Audiences were ready for JL to be the big payoff to Zack Snyder's DC trilogy. But when it wasn't ready, the version they saw was the watered-down result of a vast conspiracy and demanded Warner Brothers release the Snyder Cut with a barrage of petitions, airplanes, Times Square billboards, and a hashtag so powerful, not even the dead were safe.
That's rude.
Now, this righteous crusade has borne fruit in a cut that doesn't just make Justice League into a good movie, it transforms it into the best movie ever made. And yes, that includes Sucker Punch. For a film that fixes every plot hole in the theatrical release by having all of the possible plots at once, adding in a young Darkseid origin story, a B story where Cyborg travels to our past to change the future, an extended role for Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, another Batfleck CrossFit scene. In fact, everyone gets a CrossFit scene.
I have to admit, that would have been fun.
Also featuring the restoration of Wonder Woman's original mustache, Black Suit Superman, Black Steel Superman, a heartfelt apology from the cast of Ghostbusters 2016.
That's not cool.
And Alfred reading his favorite parts of Atlas Shrugged to the team over their communicators.
Is it ever proper to help out another man? No, if he demands it as his right or as a duty that you owe him. Yes, if it's your own free choice, based on your judgment of the value of that person in his struggle.
I actually kind of like the way they edit
This
that.
country wasn't built by men who sought handouts. In its brilliant its youth, this country showed the rest of the world what greatness was.
This goes on for 20 more minutes, all resulting in a film that ends up longer than Titanic, but is so definitive, it shuts the door on comic book movies forever. Sorry, Disney. That's a wrap on the whole genre. We're done here. Go back to making Kurt Russell talk robot.
Applejack, Pompeii Palace.
Thrill as Josh Whedon's trademark Quipsy dialogue is sent to hell where it belongs, as the cast returns to make sure all their lines match the original tone.
Ride ain't over yet. I'm sad.
And it's
I'm sad.
ending straight out of an Avengers movie. It ends with the Joker killing Lois Lane and blowing up all of Metropolis. So Superman goes nuts and then burns a hole through Shazam's head. And oh wait, am I getting the DCEU mixed up with the Injustice game again?
Right.
Doesn't matter. Still sick. So surrender your body, mind, and soul to a film that's taken on mythic proportions that exceeds your wildest imagination, and showed an entire generation that you could gang tweet your dreams into existence. Or this has all been a ploy to boost sign-ups for HBO Max.
That's what I was
We've
like.
been duped again, haven't we?
Right?
Can anyone remove a Snyder Cut tattoo from a lower back? Asking for a friend. Starring the original cast of Justice League, plus Lobo, Damian Wayne, Booster Gold.
That's funny.
That is funny. This is good.
Catwoman, Catman,
Catman. Wow, that was quick.
Raven, Martian Manhunter,
Hey.
Dr. Manhattan,
Okay.
and Green Lantern. Come on, give the guy another shot.
No.
Hashtag
He said
the
no.
movie.
The movie.
Well, this was a fun April Fool's joke, but seriously, finish the Snyder Cut and put it out so we can move on to demanding the Del Toro cut of The Hobbit, the finished cut of Suicide Squad, and the anyone else cut of Game of Thrones Season 8.
Anyone else?
Sponsored by Google Play.
I like anyone else? Yeah, that was pretty funny. Battle the Cats.
The Battle Cats? I don't know what that is.
It's weird. I'm surprised that they're still promoting like that. Like people still play that game.
Save lives by
That's
sitting
crazy.
at home doing nothing. Let's not screw this
Nah,
up.
like it's been around for a good minute though. All right, so it was all fun in games though. But I thought it was still kind of funny.
It was definitely funny, especially since half of what they're saying is true. You had people that were tweeting and blogging and all that kind of stuff so much to the point where you thought, oh, something's actually going to happen. No, it's just more tweets about Snyder Cut. Now, given even with his social media, he's posting behind the scenes footage and stuff like that of what he's already taken. He's basically adding in effects to it or whatever. That's great, but are we gonna see it or just talk about it? Because at this point, does it still matter?
Right.
Now, and I don't say that, as a non-fan or to piss anybody off, but I'm like, we're all stuck indoors with nothing to do.
Right.
It does give him plenty of time to edit and finish out whatever he's going to do with that project. Will it ever get seen? I don't know. Would I actually like to see it if it ever comes out? Of course. Just to say, okay, was there any change between the storyline and the plot points and things, or is it just a bunch of extra cutscenes like on a DVD release and that's the end of it?
Well,
just want to get it out my system.
To my knowledge, because I've been following this situation for quite some time, and obviously, I'm more connected on Twitter and Vero and seeing where everything has lied.
I follow him on Vero.
Yeah, the biggest problem with the Snyder Cut is the fact that it doesn't end. It goes into teasing or essentially another major cliffhanger of introducing Darkseid. And
but I'm okay with that because
the
the original storyline, from my understanding, is that they would introduce him like that. Then the next movie
here's the problem. Like, and I'm looking at it at a business perspective. Is the fact that Warner, regardless if you like him or not, pretty much Warner Brothers was done with Snyder.
Right.
They were done with Snyder after BVS for the most part, but they had already completed. They were already filming Justice League, and as as far as we know, the biggest decision that we know is the fact that whatever happened behind the scenes, we don't know the details, but whatever the case may be, something didn't work out between Warner Brothers and Snyder while the time of Justice League, when that rough cut was finished. That Snyder Cut the rough version of it was shown to Warner Brothers, and I think from the business side, Warner Brothers was just like, yo, we just can't keep on dealing with these
cliffhangers or unending.
No, with these critically mixed reviews of movies when we're trying to build billion-dollar franchises, which they're now doing with Aquaman and Joker, and Wonder Woman is still doing very well. So they're getting these, and those are well received. Even Shazam, well received. But the direction Zack Snyder was going down was just going to be a continual problem for Warner Brothers as a business. They're in the business to make money, not in the business to make art, so to speak. So I think that's the biggest problem with WB actually releasing the Snyder Cut, because then it makes it seem like, okay, then what? Because if the Snyder Cut is released, then that campaign doesn't end after that. That just means the next thing is going to be like, rehire Zack Snyder, bring Zack Snyder back for Justice League 2.
I don't think.
I guarantee that's exactly what happened.
I don't think that would change, because people already say that. People say that because it's like, okay, he was taken off the project,
right,
for personal reasons, and also from a business standpoint, from Warner's point of view, if that's still the case. But because of that, the movie ended up being like Suicide Squad and some issues where it was a mixed bag. It didn't flow completely the same. So like, we'll bring him back and finish it out, and that doesn't work out. At least one, we know we've given fans something of what they wanted, and it closes whatever storylines and things that he was trying to put out.
But that's exactly the problem.
That's also a large risk on their side, which I understand.
And again,
but I think releasing the Snyder Cut actually douses the flames of people constantly pushing for it and being against what Warner does from here on out. They release it. It's released. It's not like it's going to hurt the business.
Nah, but I think, but that's the problem. I think it actually does, because in WB's perspective at this moment in time, as the way I see it, is that they're just trying to focus on what makes them money and what makes the what people are liking a lot more, and that's that new direction. So they're trying to ignore.
I think it won't matter if they release it or
but
not,
it does,
because at this point, I look at it as you have core Snyder fans that are very interested in seeing it, and then you have people that are like, well, I'll see it if it's there. If it's not, no.
I get what you're saying, but this is the problem: is the fact that if WB actually does, they're like, okay, fuck it, and they just put out, even if it's like the storyboard sketches or something like that, like if they release concept art on HBO Max, that essentially proves that this campaign won. So then it's like, these people, I'm not saying all the people that are interested in seeing the Snyder Cut, but I'm talking about these rabid fans that have been harassing everybody. Every time Warner Brothers posts anything on Twitter,
then they
hashtag release. Those people will be out there like, shit, it actually worked. All right, next, let's start the rehire Zack Snyder campaign. Have him come back because, as I said, the Snyder Cut ends on a cliffhanger like that. Right. Hold that thought. I'll be back.
Just while he's doing that, I'll talk to you guys. I do agree with a lot of what he's saying. I do think that if they release the movie and, like he's saying, rehire Zack Snyder, they don't necessarily have to go forward with it, mainly because, well, they've fulfilled their contractual agreement from the get-go, as far as we know. So they don't need to move forward with anything. They can just play, all right, it is what it is. It's done. If they release the Snyder Cut on HBO Max, I think right now that's a good idea, because there's not enough content, per se, on that service, unless they have a bunch of stuff that we just haven't seen yet, that they purposely didn't announce, saving for the announcement of HBO Max. Or, you need money?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. But that said, having it on there, it just gives people a chance to see what was made, whether it's good or bad, and they can make up their minds from there. I like the idea of having, like you mentioned, concept art and featurettes and things that you're basically bonus features that you'd have on like a Blu-ray or a DVD if people still buy DVDs. It's nice having that, just to see, okay, hey, for this this film, what was the process in getting those things done? What did you do? Why did you design a character like this? All those little things are interesting. At least they are to me. Whether I am a fan of that project or not, it's the initial process I find interesting.
Exactly. I suppose.
So basically all I say was, if
I heard
on there, it'd be nice to have it to look at.
As a social experiment, or as just a cultural situation, it'd be nice to see. But again,
and it's just content.
But this is the problem again with that particular movement, is that if it ends there, you have that group of rabid Snyder fans, which in one part of me I kind of like appreciate that there's people that are so dedicated to a one person's vision, but the problem is that they don't also understand that vision for the most part did not work for the general audiences in the direction that the WB wanted to go, and they gotta recognize the business sense of that is the fact that WB doesn't really want to be focusing on what and refocusing on what wasn't working. They're happy with what is working right now, which is why we're gonna have 100.
Or at least trying to be.
100 Jokers. We're going to continue having Aquaman, Wonder Woman will continue to get pushed out, and they're relaunching Batman, and unfortunately we're not getting anything with Superman because because it was all part of that original vision. So that's just the biggest problem I have, is like I'm curious about it. I don't really care if it comes out or not, even if it was sketches and what have you not, but I'm not a big fan of this constant
release the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, and this constant poking and teasing of something that, especially now where Snyder did a commentary on the BVS track a few days ago. In the world that we're living in right now, particularly with Corona and being at home quarantine, the last thing I really want to see is people arguing about this situation. And then on top of that, this would have been right around the same time Wonder Woman was about to come out again. Right. Like, I don't really like seeing fans getting riled up like that, remembering what once was, and now harassing the direction that the DC is at right now. Right. So I think, and even with the same thing with Birds of Prey, I'm not saying Birds of Prey did bad because of the Snyder Cut movement, but I definitely think there is a particular division of people that just hated it because it wasn't from Zack Snyder type of thing.
Well, I look at it like this, that I can see, but you can't expect the director to direct every single project. As much as we may like to have one streamlined story, vision and things, there's only so much the human body can take. Outside of, there's only so much that one person can do continuously without actually bowing out. I mean, you had Michael Bay, for instance. He's like, look, after the third Transformers movie, he wanted a break because it was just a lot.
Josh Whedon was fucking done after the second Avengers movie, so
it's a lot to take on when you take on these big Hollywood projects, which is good. But you also have to understand, after filming it, someone's got to edit that. Someone's got to look at it, approve it. Then it's got to be re-edited. People still have to get their paychecks and things. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. Then when you get the finished project, it's actually anywhere between 1 to 3 years later.
And timing is everything, as Little John once said. It's like, and critical reception is important as well. Animal Crossing, one of the biggest reasons Animal Crossing is selling so well right now is because people have nothing else to do. So timing is everything. So Zack Snyder's vision might have worked. The Snyder Cut might have worked in 1990 when edgy shit was the thing back then, but it just doesn't work at this point in time. And so
I do think if at all it's going to work as far as just pleasing fans, just to say, hey, look, okay, we get it, here it is, enjoy it, move on. Now is actually the best time to do it because of Corona, because people don't have the opportunity to go out into the theaters. It's content that they can see, but also when this coronavirus is finished, because it will end
Why?
And we'll go in a more positive direction.
But which
they just cleanly move on from that, especially since all the movies are being pushed back anyway.
Which again goes back to my point of the fact that unfortunately with the Snyder Cut, it doesn't end. It's just a cliffhanger on to 2 more movies. Which,
yeah, but those 2 movies don't need to be made.
But that's what you think. But that's not what that's my point. Is the fact that the campaign won't stop after that.
It may not be what people want, but
people are talking about something. Like WB should have let him finish his vision, and then I think people don't realize is that his vision wasn't
still working for the company.
But his vision was still 2 more movies out. That's the thing.
Yeah,
so
and I get that. But not every trilogy is meant to be made.
All right. Well, we're stopping there. Oh my God, that was 20 minutes. We will talk to you on the next one. We completely went off. I knew that was going to happen though, but
sorry guys.
No. I mean, it is what it is. And the disappointing thing as I was telling you off camera last night is that I was really just thinking about how had somebody reined in Zack Snyder just a little bit, just if there was a Feige out there, someone to basically do what they do with the Marvel directors.
Basically having a buffer of some sort.
And be like, look, and you guys got to remember, this happens a lot in comic books as well. Those dudes, Alan Moore, all those great writers, Grant Morrison, they all had editors above them when they were fresh talents to be like, okay, you got some good ideas, but we need to dial it back just a little. Even Dave Chappelle, as great as he is, and he would complain about Comedy Central always censoring him, some things needed to be lessened, toned down. And that's the thing I was thinking about with Justice League and even with BVS. If certain things had been toned down, Zack Snyder's world would have been great for everybody. If there was just one extra thing to make it more accessible and more open to everybody and more relatable to everybody, we would have a great franchise. But unfortunately, it just I think that's the thing, as you know, in being in the industry, studios really care about
directors don't always see eye to eye, and things tend to fall apart.
But the thing is, a lot of studios don't really care about the actual content. They just fund they fund
the ending of it.
Yeah, they put the money into it. They fund it and just hope that the money comes back. And sometimes you do have great visions like Christopher Nolan's work, and they're just like, go ahead, do whatever you got to do. Right. The Russos, go ahead, do whatever you got to do. And then sometimes it doesn't work out. So there you go. All right, guys, we're out of here. We'll talk to you later. Peace. Hey guys, thanks a lot for checking out this reaction. It means a lot to me that you're spending your time with us right now. And while you're staying at home trying to get over this crisis, just want to remind you to definitely check out the Patreon, where we're doing full reactions to things like The Witcher, Demon Slayer, My Hero Academia, and so much more. We have exclusive movie nights and some other cool little things. So if you have the means, definitely check out Patreon right now.